Are you ready to take your message, your business, and your life to the next level?
Want to learn from someone with more than a decade of experience, training tens of thousands of people from all around the world?
Hi, Cliff. This is Pauline from Auckland, New Zealand.
John from Calgary, Alberta.
Amy Porterfield.
Michael Hyatt.
Dan here from Dunedin, New Zealand.
Ray Edwards.
Mark Mason. Mike Stelzner.
Pat from Smart Passive Income.
It's Darren from Melbourne, Australia.
Now is the time to live the life of your dreams and do the work you feel most called to do in the world.
Welcome to the Cliff Ravenscraft Show.
Here's your host, Cliff Ravenscraft.
That's right, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show, and I have a unique episode for you today. A couple of weeks ago, I released episode number 610 of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show, and I introduced the concept or the technology, the tool called Voxer. And I think the episode was titled Authentic Relationships Are Built Outside of Automation. Or it was something according to that nature or whatever the case may be. And crazy as it may have seemed, I put out an invitation for everyone to go and install Voxer, V-O-X-E-R, onto their smartphone. And I also invited them to add me as a user and to send me a personal audio message as a way of getting direct access to me personally. Now, there are thousands of people who are subscribed to this podcast, and you might suspect that thousands, or at least 1,000 or several hundred people went and immediately downloaded Voxer upon hearing that episode and then added me as a user and sent me a message. And you may think, well, you know, I probably shouldn't do that because I'm sure Cliff's flooded already without, you know, do you want to know how many people have done it? I didn't count, but I would say maybe 50 or 60 people out of the thousands. And the interesting thing is some of the things that I think of here right off the top of my head is that I wonder what would cause some people to not go and download Voxer and to send a message. And some of it is just that, quite frankly, you listened to the episode, you thought maybe about doing it, and then you got busy with the rest of your day. You're in traffic at the time or driving to work, and you forgot about it, and it basically slipped your mind because you tuned into the next podcast after episode 610 of my show. It auto archived, and you never really thought about it since then. That's certainly the case for a lot of people. And I'm sure there are many of you out there that, quite frankly, it's like, I'm not downloading an app to talk to Cliff. Why would I want to do that? And the world doesn't need another. I certainly don't need another app on my phone. I don't need another group of communication tools, social media, and notifications. No way. And there's a large number of you out there that probably had that reaction, and that's totally cool. I get it. So, but then there's the other ones that probably said, you know, I don't know that I'm all that special enough to really take up Cliff's time, effort, energy, and attention. I don't know that I'm worthy of that. And unfortunately, I know that that's the case for some people. And it's a shame because if there's one thing I want to communicate to you, if you're listening to my voice right now and that thought happened to occur to you personally, you are worthy of my time, effort, and attention. Now, I can't promise how long I will be able to continue to go on where I will read every single email that comes into my inbox, where I will be able to listen to and respond to every single person who responds to my invitation to connect with me on Voxer and all this other stuff. I don't know how long that will happen or will be able to continue. But at this point, I'm still committed to reading every email that you guys send me. My email address, by the way, is cliff@cliffravenscraft.com. And my Voxer username is still Cliff, EOTC. Cliff Encouraging Others Through Christ. Or if that offends you, you can just use Cliff Encouraging Others Through Content to remember my username. But yeah, reach out to me. You feel free to do so. Now, the interesting thing is I genuinely am doing this for the purpose of just building deeper relationships with other people in my community, and quite frankly, to do it in a way that's way more convenient for me than email. All right. It's so much more convenient for me to hear a 30-second, 60-second, 90-second audio message from you and then just listen to that while I'm out for a walk or whatever the case may be. And then I can instantly, after listening to it, send you a quick little audio message back without having to be in front of a computer, which if I'm in front of a computer, there's all sorts of other work that I really should be and desire to get accomplished. So it's quite frankly, Voxer is just more convenient for me. So if anybody's interested, just so you know, that's the whole purpose here. The only thing I ask, and I do have some very intentional reasons why I ask what I ask, and I am looking to find those people in my community that God may kind of give me a nudge inside of my heart that says, hey, this is a person I really believe you can help, that I've put into your path. And I want you to reach out and offer to help them through your paid products and services, or maybe you need to make them aware of some of your free products and services that are available to help them get what it is that I've created them to have in their life. All right? So I am intentionally looking and discerning who are the right people for me to invite into other experiences inside of what I do and what I offer and who God created me to be. So if you were to send me a message, I am going to ask you to answer one question, whether that be an email, which is less convenient for me, but if it's more convenient for you, then that's fine. Send me an email. I still today in 2019 read every email that comes in. And if it's a personal email written to me, I still respond to every email. So, as crazy as that may seem, I still do it. Now, if you send me an email, cliff@cliffravenscraft.com, or if you send me a Voxer message, Cliff EOTC on Voxer, I'm going to ask you to tell me one thing. What is the biggest dream that you currently are chasing or that you have that excites you or scares you the most? That's it. Start with that answer to that question, and let's see where that leads. And by the way, I have no expectation that this is going to lead to you becoming a paid client of one of my products or services, an attendee of my Free the Dream, a member of my Next Level Mastermind, or whatever the case may be. In fact, as I said, about 50 or 60 or so people have reached out to me on Voxer. And they've just been very enjoyable conversations. Some of them have been, a couple exchanges, like maybe 2 or 3 exchanges back and forth. Some of them have been 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 exchanges back and forth. And it's pretty much about as far as they'll typically go. Maybe I might hear from them once a month or once every other quarter if they remember that the app is still on their thing and they send me another message. But, the thing is of the 60 or 70 people who have reached out to me on Voxer, about 4 of them ended up being paid clients of mine. And today in this podcast episode, I'm going to share with you how one of those happened. And basically, the rest of this episode has already been produced, or at least 41 minutes and 15 seconds of this episode have already been produced. It's already been put together. And a majority of this episode, and what makes it unique, is that you're actually going to be able to hear Voxer audio messages throughout, and it's a journey. Everything else at this point will make sense based upon how I've already introed the opening of the pre-produced message, which I've already now received permission from Kevin Fiedler from Germany to share this story with you. In this recording, I'm going to share with you the journey of a brand new client. In episode 610 of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show, I discussed a tool called Voxer, and I created an invitation for anyone in my community who listens to my show to install this app called Voxer and to send me a personal audio message introducing themselves and telling me what their greatest dream is. What dream do you have that excites you and or scares you the most? And I'm shocked at how few people actually did that. However, there were several. And this audio recording here is the story of one of those people who did. Kevin Fiedler from Germany sent me this audio message on Voxer.
Hey, Cliff. you wanted to know what my biggest dream is. I've listened to your podcast episode. And I wanted to tell you. First, I want to tell you that I've contacted you a few years ago via message. I don't know what the app was, but I've contacted you already, and I tell you that I have a project in the home recording area, and yeah, I've done a few things since then. I've developed this site, and it's grown to a platform where people can learn how to mix music at home and produce high quality music. And yeah, this project is offline since a few years because I've concentrated on kevinfiedler.de, and there I tell other people how they can market their service to people who help other people. Although I make marketing for people who help other people. This can be therapy or alternative medicine, or people in a sector where they help other people, and I make the marketing for these people. And I have a lot of fun doing that. But last week I got a chance to make a workshop with people who don't know anything about marketing. These were people that are on the beginning of marketing, and I had done a workshop for them, absolutely beginners in marketing, and I have so much fun. I were absolutely in my zone of genius, and I could tell my body tells me everything was right last week, and I've learned that I have to do this in my life every day. That is my biggest dream, is to live only from workshops, from group seminars with a small group of people. Last week it was 9 people in this workshop, and the dynamic in this group was so great. It was so much fun and so great value for every customer who were there by this workshop, and it was absolutely great, and everything tells me that this is the direction I have to go. Yeah, my dream is to live from workshops alone. I love the work one-on-one, but the technical side of marketing, website building and other stuff is not my zone of genius. My zone of genius is to work with a small group of people in a workshop format or seminar like this. And yeah, everything tells me that was right. It had feel so right to me. And yeah, the customers get great value, and this is the direction I have to go. Yeah. But my target group of customers actually are people who don't want to make these things alone. They search for people who made it for him or for her. And yeah, this is my I don't know the English word for Herausforderung. This is my I have to make a switch in my target group, I think, to get people who are in the beginning and are actually who want to do these things, who want to learn these things and want to do these things. My target group now don't want to do the things, and that is my dream to get to reach people who want to learn in workshops or seminars and want to do the things after the workshop. Yeah, that is my biggest dream. I want to make workshops for a living because I can deliver great value via this channel, and this is my biggest dream. I wanted to thank you, and I want to say thank you, Cliff, for everything that you do. The first podcast I've ever listened to was yours, and I started my own podcast, and all my other things that comes after this get inspired from you. And I've listened to your podcast since years, and I've learned so much. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you, and thanks. Bye.
Okay, so from this point forward, I am now going to just play for you the direct back and forth response. And I'm only going to jump in here in real time to explain to you maybe some of the things that have been corresponded via text in our conversation back and forth on Voxer, and maybe a little bit of what happened between a couple gaps of a few days or even a few weeks. But before I jump into my response to Kevin, I forgot to tell you that all of this took place on Monday, August 5th, 2019. And I am actually sharing this entire file, creating this entire audio recording of this relationship that I've had with Kevin on August 22nd. So it's just been a few weeks. Anyway, here's our correspondence back and forth on Voxer since that first message.
Hey, Kevin, it's Cliff here. Thank you so much for sending me an audio message after listening to episode 610 of my podcast. I hope you don't mind. I'm using my AirPods, and I'm at the gym, and I'm on the Stairmaster working out. So audio quality here isn't the best. But I just wanted to say how awesome it is that you discovered, I think, what is leading you to understand your zone of genius. I'm going to say something, and I'm going to tell you just flat out a bold statement, and then I'll let it sink in for a second, and then I'll explain what I mean. So I want to tell you that your zone of genius is not leading workshops, all right? Your zone of genius is not leading workshops. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no doubt, based upon the excitement in your voice, how much you love leading workshops. But here's the thing. You could grow a business of leading workshops, and you could get to the place where one day you kind of get bored of workshops and you want to move on and do something different. And that's okay. How you apply your zone of genius can shift over time, but your zone of genius is always going to be the same. So what I encourage you to think about, what is it that you're doing when you are teaching these workshops? I think I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask you to ask yourself that question. What is it that you are doing when you are leading these workshops that make you feel the way you feel? I'll leave you with that for a little bit.
Thank you so much for your answer, and I think you're totally right. What is it, what excites me in workshops, in small groups? The dynamic of the group. With a small group of people, there is a dynamic better than a big group of people. In this small group from last week, there were so much dynamic, so much questions, and I could do practical examples out of one of the customers of the group. I'm always working on offers to make video courses and memberships via Vertrauensmarketing. I name it Vertrauensmarketing, trust marketing, because my marketing is based on trust. You have to get the trust of the target customer to make the sale, and that is how I make my own marketing, and that is how I make my marketing for my one-on-one clients now. And I will teach it in workshops. And yeah, what is it what I love the most? I love the dynamic. I love to answer questions. I love to give practical examples. That is where my strengths come in. When I give practical, not only theoretical examples. Practical with customers. Yeah, and that is what makes me tick. That is what I love. When I could work with a small group of people on practical examples from the customers. Yeah, you're totally right. That don't have to be workshops, and it could switch in the future. Yeah, you're right. I hope I have answered your question right. It is not so easy, but that was your purpose, I think. Thank you very much for your time, and yeah, Thank you. Yeah, one thing. I think I could deliver this value, which I deliver through workshops. I could deliver this value through mastermind groups too. I think this is another channel, another offer I'm working on a mastermind program with a membership combination. I think I could offer the value there too. And this plays in my zone of genius too, because I can help these people via online mastermind calls like you do. I think, yeah, that is where my totally zone of genius comes in. When I talk to a small group of people, could pick one of the customers and make practical examples of marketing strategies and help them in a small group. That is, yeah, I think that is the right direction for me.
Kevin, that sounds amazing. And yes, it's that what you're doing, your zone of genius is that reaching in and giving that personal attention, understanding the exact needs of that individual, and communicating what you know and have experienced and have learned in a way to help them achieve their dreams. And just, it's that, you said it a couple times, that small group dynamic. It's that exchange of information between you and them. That's your zone of genius. And you can do that in workshops. You can do that one-on-one. And yes, there's no doubt in my mind you could actually do it through mastermind groups as well. Anyway, great chatting with you today, and I appreciate the fact that you took the time to reach out.
Okay, so at this point, I need to let you know that Kevin responded in Voxer via text, and he wrote in all capital letters, "Thank you!" ! And then he wrote, "Amazing time. I'll find a way to change my offerings from one-on-one to workshops and masterminds." And then he put a smiling big grin emoticon in there. And then again, in all capital letters, he says, "I love it!" ! And he put another big, giant, smiling, blushing face, glowing, smiley face emoticon. And my response to this text response was this.
Well, Kevin, if you are ever interested in participating in a paid mastermind group yourself, I do have some next level mastermind groups that are active and have been going since November 2017. I have become quite a pro at filling those groups at $1,000 per month. And by the way, I do have one of my groups is completely full. The other one will be full probably within the next 30 days. And once that one's full, I'm going to be launching a brand new, it'll be a fourth mastermind group that will be $25,000 a year or $2,250 per month. So if you've ever thought about the Next Level Mastermind, or if you've not even heard about it, you can check out nextlevelmastermind.info, not .com, but nextlevelmastermind.info. And yeah, I have a few spots available in one group if you want to participate, get a feel for what it's like, and then also be in a group of other people who are doing this kind of work.
Okay, so in response to that message, I got another text response from Kevin. Now, in this text response, there's a lot of personal detail that I'm not going to include here. So what I'm going to do is kind of summarize and paraphrase a little bit of what's in here. He wrote back and he said, "Hi, Cliff. I would really like to join your mastermind group. Currently, I have a situation such and such that's going on, and as a result of that, I'm going to have to come up with some money that is well beyond what is within my normal expenses, and it's going to double the burden financially on what I would normally pay for this one area of my life, and that's going to be the case at least for the next several months. Unfortunately, financially, it would be very difficult at the moment. In fact, my current situation will eat up almost my entire reserves, which I've built up before I went into full-time self-employment. The situation is not so easy, financially and psychologically. The thing is, it makes it nearly impossible to raise $1,000 a month at the moment, and that really is a pity. I also wonder if an English-speaking mastermind is the right one for me. Feedback to my website or landing pages and other offers would be difficult for the group to do without translation. Again, that's a rough paraphrase of the response that I got. And here is, and I will tell you, it was not easy to be so bold, but I was bold and I felt led to be bold. And here's what I said in response.
Well, Kevin, I certainly appreciate your response, and I may see it from a different perspective, but I'm not going to attempt to convince you otherwise, because you may feel like I'm just trying to make a sales pitch to you. I will address a few things, though, not in an effort to change your mind about my mastermind group and your ability to afford it, but I do want to let you know that Lingen is from Paris, France. He's Chinese-born, and I can promise you I've had audio calls with you here on Voxer. I've heard your voice, and I understand you better than I understand him. He's a part of the morning session at the Next Level Mastermind. My friend Rick Lindberg is from Stockholm, Sweden. He also has English that is sometimes challenging to hear and understand if he starts speaking really fast. Yet, he's been in my Next Level Mastermind since November 2017. He's one of the most powerful members in our group. And as far as, let's see here, the idea that it only makes it almost impossible to raise $1,000 a month at the moment, I happen to work with people all of the time who go from, let's just say, making $3,000 to $7,000 a month in their online businesses and help them get to as much as $10,000 to $20,000 or even $50,000 a month in their businesses in about 6 months. So again, I don't say all of that to try to convince you, but I will tell you that until you get somewhere where you can invest in people who will help elevate your way of thinking and your belief system about what's possible and what to focus on. For example, one of the things that, is like, well, it would be impossible to get great feedback on my landing page because you wouldn't be able to understand the language. I assume that it's probably in German or Dutch or something of that nature. So whatever the case may be, the reality is that I help people who want to coach and do mastermind groups. I help them understand how they can actually build and fill mastermind groups without the need for a podcast, a blog, a landing page, a sales letter, an email newsletter, and all of that stuff. Again, this isn't me to try to sales pitch you. I just added my 12th member to my PM group, which means that group is full. There's nobody that can join that. I do have 4 or 5 spots available in my AM group, but I have coaching experiences scheduled over the next 2 weeks, and I'm absolutely certain that the group will be full there. And I am going to be launching another group of the Next Level Mastermind, and it will not be available at $1,000 a month. It will be $25,000 a year up front, or it will be $2,250 a month if they want to pay monthly. And it will be worth it for those people as well, especially those who have been struggling for years trying to get to the place where they could generate the money to afford things like this. And but again, you were reaching out to me, so I just want you to know this wasn't an opportunity for me to do a sales pitch. But whenever somebody says to me, I'd love to make money doing paid mastermind groups, I always like to find out, well, are you willing to pay for a paid mastermind group? It's a neat question to ask.
Jumping in right here just for a second to let you know that at this point in my message to Kevin, I also addressed the very personal nature of the details that I paraphrased out of the text response that he sent me. I just want you to know that I definitely addressed the very challenging and very important information that he had shared with me in his message to me. Again, I took all of that personal detail out, but in this little audio section, I did address that, shared with him some of my heart, my heartfelt thoughts and prayers for him in that situation. And then I just edited all of that out of this audio recording, and then I wrapped up my message by saying this.
And I'll be praying for you to achieve success in all the dreams that you set out for yourself, my friend. So thank you so much for connecting with me here on Voxer, and I hope and pray that you have a blessed and wonderful week.
I should have shared with you that some of the exchanges that you've heard back and forth were actually the very next day on August 6th. And that's just the nature of Voxer. You can have ongoing conversations that are so time shifted. It's amazing. I love Voxer. Anyway, so that was all of the things that I've shared up to this point happened on August 6th. Now, on August 7th at 2:42 in the morning, my time, now he's in Germany, so he's 6 hours ahead of me, he wrote back a text message in response to what I've just shared. He said, very interesting insights about the members of your mastermind. Of course, he's referring to the fact that I have 2 other members from other countries with 2 other native tongues that I don't speak personally. He said, also, thank you for your good wishes. I will check it out if I could make it possible to join your mastermind group. I'm totally confident that this would help me. That's what he wrote in text form. Now, the thing is I didn't see this right away because it was 2:42 in the morning when that came through. So even before I woke up the next morning at 6:35 a.m., Kevin sent me this audio message on Voxer.
Hey, Cliff. I was on your sales page for the Next Level Mastermind and watched the video. And yeah, I'm totally in. I'm confident the group would help me, and I've made some calculations. And we have to come a little bit creative with our income to get the money to also get into the mastermind group with you. And yeah, I only need to win 1 or 2 people in my packages, which I'm offering at the moment. I'm offering 2 packages. One is 500 euros a month and one 800 euros a month. And I have some customers in these packages, and I only need 2 in the 500 package or 1 in the 800 euro package to pay you for the mastermind. And I'm totally confident to get these people, but I had to put in mind that I, in long term, don't want to work only one-on-one in these packages. That's the reason I've made a new landing page today for my mastermind idea. Yeah, we have spoken about it. I want to lead a mastermind too. And I had made the sales page for it today. And if you and the group could help me find 2 people in this new mastermind group I want to offer for 500 euros a month, yeah, then the mastermind with you will pay for itself. And I'm confident that the group and you could bring me to this point. That's the reason why I'm confident at the moment I could pay these $1,000 a month for your mastermind group. And yeah, I'm in my break today in the woods. I walk a little bit and I think about it, and I think I will fill out the approval, the form on your sales page. And yeah, I hope I could get the call with you and speak about it further. I'm really confident that the group is right for me, even if I'm not the best English speaker. But you've said it already. You have a few members outside the US and outside the English-speaking countries. I think this would work. Yeah, thanks, Cliff, for your time, for listening again. And yeah, I appreciate all what you do. And I think the mastermind group with you would be a great fit for me. And I'm confident I could work out the $1,000 a month to get it run. Yeah, thanks, bye.
So that message was sent to me on August 7th, 2 weeks ago. All right, now let me explain to you what I notice with many people that I personally mentor and coach in the growth of their businesses, and specifically those coaches who are looking to attract or create, that I like to call now, new clients to their one-on-one coaching packages or their paid mastermind groups. One of the things that I've seen over and over again that trip people up is they make assumptions about whether or not their potential clients can afford their services. Now, I'm talking about the fact that they make these assumptions before any of their clients even express to them that, no, I'm sorry, I can't accept your proposal. There's no way I could possibly afford to pay you $1,000 a month or 497 euros a month or whatever the case may be. They haven't even made the proposal and they won't make the proposal because they are already convinced that their client is in a position financially where they can't afford it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to share this story with you is because this client specifically stated, because of all of my life circumstances and the financial situation that I currently find myself in, it is literally next to impossible for me to invest $1,000 per month with you. And I accepted that, and I was genuine in the fact that I was not making a sales pitch to Kevin. In fact, I pretty much had dropped it. I just wanted to say, hey, I just want you to know, I'm not trying to convince you to join my mastermind group. I'm convinced it's going to be full very soon anyway. So, but here's what I wanted to say is that if your concern was the English speaking, don't worry about that. Here's 2 examples on why I know that's not a big deal. And then also, I do specialize in taking people that are somewhere between $3,000 to $7,000 a month and easily seeing them, get up to 10, 15, 20, and yes, well above that when it comes to how much money they're generating on a consistent monthly basis. And the only reason I'm really super tied into what you're saying is because you said that you are looking to, and you feel a sense in your heart that really what you want to spend a majority of your time on is devoting yourself not to the technical work for people, but leading small groups of people, that small group dynamic where you can exercise your zone of genius all of the time. And you know for a fact, deep in your heart, this is what you're meant to do in this world. And one of the areas that you're convinced that you want to do it through is paid mastermind groups where people pay 497 euros per month. I happen to be an expert with lots of experience about things that do and don't work when it comes to marketing and building and growing and facilitating things like that. And I just know that there's no doubt in my mind that Kevin could have figured all this out on his own over the next 2.5 years. Or I could take what I've been doing for the past 2.5 years and help him benefit over the next 2.5 weeks and get over the hurdles I had to get over in the course of 2.5 years. Now, again, I didn't even share all of that as a sales pitch and everything I just communicated to you. Well, guess what? Not even all of that was communicated in the messages. I mean, literally up to this point, you have heard everything that was exchanged between myself and Kevin, except for the personal details of what was going on in his life at the time. But here's what I will tell you. Again, most people that I coach have this problem where even without the client telling you that it's next to impossible for them to even consider paying $1,000 a month, they don't even ask because they already assume that the answer is going to be no. Kevin gave me a no. He gave me a clear no and told me why it would be impossible. And all I did was give him a very non-threatening, non-pushy, just, hey, I see this from a different perspective. And then all of a sudden, he takes some time to think about what I shared. He sends me that message, and then he spends some time on my sales page, and then he says, I'm in. I'm going to have to get creative. But man, if I think about it, this is something I truly want. And here's something I can tell you. I have a firm belief that everyone has plenty of money available to them for all the things they truly want. The only question is does Kevin truly want to be a member of the Next Level Mastermind? And through our exchange, and then after spending some time on the sales page, he had determined, I truly want this. And then once he determined that this is something he truly wanted that was going to help him get what he wanted and get further faster, as soon as he made that determination that this is what he truly wanted, it was only then that he got creative with how to afford it. And it was simple. I only need 2 clients for this package, only need 1 client for this package. And then if I join, not only do I already have the expenses covered, but I don't want to keep doing that long term, that technical work in the current packages that I offer. I want to get into paid masterminds. So if the group can help me over the next 3 months fill a mastermind group, then I'm totally in, and it will be worth it. Well, again, that was 2 weeks ago. And in only 2 weeks, this is what's happened. Kevin has been introduced to the format of mastermind groups. He's been introduced to a method called the Prosperous Coach Method for creating clients. He's been hearing not only my own successes with the Prosperous Coach Method for creating clients and adding people to mastermind groups, but there are so many other coaches in the mastermind group that he's a part of that are also applying the Prosperous Coach Method to adding members to their mastermind groups and to their one-on-one coaching packages. And every day on Voxer, he's hearing all of these success stories, and he's starting to do this. And he created a podcast episode of his podcast where he told his technical audience that he's going to eventually put an end to all of his technical consulting packages. He's making a shift in his life, and he talked about what the new shift is. Kind of back in the day in January 2016, when I came to Podcast Answer Man, and I said, guys, I think I'm going to stop doing all podcast coaching and consulting, and I'm going to become a business mentor and life coach. And he did that in his podcast, and he's on fire, and people in his audience have heard him and heard the new energy in his voice, and they're like, okay, I'm a little concerned and freaked out. I'm not going to have you for my technical consulting anymore, and I better hire you before I miss this opportunity. And one of the people who listened to his podcast said, listen, I'd like to schedule a time with you because I want to hire you and I want to learn this stuff from you. And he actually began to apply the Prosperous Coach Method exactly as he's learned it from this book called The Prosperous Coach by Steve Chandler and Rich Lidfin. And then the way that we've been sharing our experiences with how we're applying that approach to creating clients. He invited this person from his podcast audience into a coaching experience, just like mentioned. It was the first person he ever gave this coaching experience to. And then it went so well, and he gave her an assignment. And get this, only 2 weeks later, now he's done several coaching experiences since then, but only 2 weeks later, we get the following exchanges back and forth.
Hey, I have an interesting coaching call in 1 hour. That's the second coaching experience I will have with somebody. And that is the person I had my very first coaching experience with last week, Monday. I had told you about that. Yeah, it was very, very good. And this is a person who have mailed me after listening to my new podcast episodes, and that I want to close my technical packages in the future. And yeah, and that is the person too, which have said to me that her dream is to write and do technical things every day. And this is a person I have given the to do to make her perfect day and write it down until our next meeting in 1 hour. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm thinking how this call will end because she said to me that she wants to do technical things, but said to me that she wants to join one of the technical groups packages I'm offering. And yeah, I think that she is the perfect person for the mastermind offer. And yeah, we will see how this call will turn out. I will tell you after it. Have a great day.
Kevin, it looks like your call is getting ready to start in about 14 minutes, and I just want you to know I'm praying that it goes well for you, and that if the fit is a good fit for her to be in the mastermind, that you'll make that proposal, and that she will say yes. Who knows? This may be somebody that you could even refer work to in the future, since she wants to do more technical and you want to do less technical. Who knows? It could be a great relationship all the way around. But no matter what, man, I just hope that you have a great experience in this coaching session. And rather than focus and be too concerned about how it will end, make sure that you live in that moment by moment, with her through the entire experience. So I just trust amazing things are going to happen based upon your explanation of that first session, and I can't wait to hear after your second session.
So, the call is over, and I have my first mastermind member paying 497 euros, adding taxes will come above, to join my group. That is so amazing. The call was absolutely amazing too. She has gotten a direction where she wants to go in our first coaching call, and now we have made some sort of offer for her where she can combine everything what she wants to do every day. She has prepared her a perfect day for me, and yeah, there are some things like writing and technical stuff, and we have thought about some things what she can offer. Now she has some sort of combination of, in German it's called Gründercoaching, help for startups, what they have to do with the taxes and all the stuff, and she could help with first websites and some things to get the technical aspects that she loves into the offer. And she's absolutely amazed by this. And yeah, she asked me, how can we work together to make this roll in? And I have said, yeah, I have two options for you, the mastermind or one-on-one coaching. And yeah, I've delivered logistics aspects of the mastermind and the pricing. And yeah, she said, oh, this is expensive. I never have given so much money to invest in myself, but she has done it. I have prepared a proposal with the tool Plutio.com. With the proposals can be signed online and directly, and I've sent her the proposal via mail, via our Skype call, and yeah, she has signed it while we are talking. And yeah, we are starting now. And the mastermind will start on September 4th. I have said to her, hey, you could choose a date, because I have two others which have pointed interest, but have not said which day or time she wants. I've said to her, hey, you could choose it. And she chose it. Wednesdays, 9:30 a.m. And yeah, it's another time zone. It not conflicts with our mastermind here. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. It's so cool, and I'm so full of energy now. I have to, I don't know what I have to. I have to jump around or something. It's so amazing. And I'm absolutely confident that I will fill this group in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah.
Kevin, congratulations, my friend. And I'm absolutely confident also that you are going to fill that group, my friend. So exciting. Thank you so much for sharing and committing yourself to your dream, my friend. That is so awesome and very inspiring, I'm sure, for everyone who will hear this throughout the day today.
Thank you, Cliff. And yeah, this is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I'm totally confident too. And yeah, I have two of my actual clients that wants to join the group too. And I've said that they can join the group for a small fee above the fees that she pay me already. And so we can start the group with three persons. And we will start on September 4th. And yeah, I'm so amazed, and this is so cool. I'm so looking forward for the first coaching call and the first Voxes I will get from her, and this is so cool. I wanted to say that this person was the very first coaching experience ever. Yeah, I've named my calls never coaching experience before. She was the first. And yeah, and she is the first member as a paying member. This is absolutely awesome. Wow.
Hey, Kevin, it's Cliff Ravenscraft here, and I wanted to ask you something to seek your permission to use your story to inspire lots of other people. Now, I want you to understand that what I've just created, I am in no way asking you to feel any compulsion to say yes. If you say, no, Cliff, I'd rather not use that, I'd rather you not use that, I'd rather you not tell the story, there's some of that stuff was meant just for me and you, I will completely understand. I want you to know that I made it intentional to take out any personal stuff, but I want you to check out the link below. You'll be able to download or stream an MP3 file, and it's only available to you. It's something that if you gave me permission, I would put into the Cliff Ravenscraft show. But I wanted to produce it exactly how it would sound in the show and see if you would be okay with me telling the story. If you're okay with it, then I will produce it and put it into the show. And if you're not okay with it, I'll just delete it, and it will never be heard by anyone. Anyway, I wanted to run it by you and see what you thought. I'm going to put the link below.
Hi, Cliff. And I really wish I could talk in my mother language to you now. First, I wanted to say, use it if you want. Use it as an episode of the Cliff Ravenscraft show, and I would be honored if you do it. And some things I want to say, I think I could only say with the real meaning in my mother language, German, but I will try to say it in English to you. At first, I'm really honored that you wanted to tell my success story after 3 weeks in the mastermind with all your listeners, even if I'm not so good in English. And I'm very honored that you wanted to tell my story. And I think you should really share this story with other people and as many people as you could, because and I said to you already that I have made a switch about my beliefs about money. And the money problem is a thing I have to discuss every time with my clients. And now that I have invested in your mastermind, I can with 100% confidence say to my interested clients, this investment is worth it, and it will pay out 10 to 100 times more that you will pay to me. And this is one thing that had helped me today with my first mastermind client in the it not was a sales call, but you know what I mean. It had helped me to get my confidence at 100% to offer her my own mastermind. And it was so amazing and so easy to sell to her. And I think everybody out there should know that there is an absolutely amazing thing which happens when you decide to invest in yourself, to invest in you, to come faster to your dreams, to your goals. And I think you should definitely release this episode as fast as you can to as many people as you can, because I want to be a part of exploration, to open more minds, to open more people to this idea to invest in you, or to invest in any other coach that would help people to reach their dreams. And this is absolutely amazing. And if you want to, I would really like to start in for this episode for a kind of a small interview or something like that. If you want to, I would really want to add some things that I have said in this 4-minute recording nearly now to convince more people that they should invest in themselves, in a coaching, in a mastermind with you, or a people where they can say, hey, this guy or this girl is in a situation I actually want to be in. And I want to motivate people that they take the decision to get somebody, some girl that are in a position that they want to like to be in. Yeah, this is such an amazing time, and I'm more confident than ever, and I'm more clear than ever that this was absolutely the right decision, and I could reach my dream life much further, much faster than I've ever dreamed before, because I've taken the decision to join your group. And yeah, there are so much more things I wanted to tell you, but it's not so easy for me because English is not my mother language. And yeah, if I would speak in German to you, I think I would say 20 or 30 more minutes to you, some things I have in my head right now, but I cannot formulate in English. You get the idea that I'm really thankful for everything that you do. And yeah, I'm 3 weeks in your mastermind, and yeah, you have gotten the idea what I've already accomplished. And I have 6 wins of the week yesterday I've told you about, and I think another 100 or 1,000 wins of the week will add to it in the next weeks and months. This is absolutely amazing. My life is even now better than ever before. Thanks for your time and have a great day. And I'm really looking forward to our call tomorrow. And yeah, thank you. Bye.
Kevin, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm great, Cliff. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, it has been exciting to watch your journey. Now, in the message that you sent me yesterday, you said you'd been in the group for 3 weeks, but I think I did the math right, and I figured it's only been 2 weeks that you've actually been in the group. You've only been in 2 meetings, I believe.
No, I wasn't 3.
Were you?
I was before my hot seat and after my hot seat. It was 3.
Okay, cool. So did you actually, okay, so was it the day that you signed up, that was your first meeting?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I got it. All right, now I understand why it was 3 weeks. So you said you would love to get on here and just add some thoughts. Of course, I've already shared some of that here, but you said people need to hear this message of investing. What is it that you felt like you wanted to share with the folks that wasn't a part of what I had edited together that I gave you to get your approval to share with my community?
I don't know if I have not said it already, but I just want to motivate people to get over the money hurdle and to invest in themselves to get what they want faster, and so much faster that I've never dreamed before. I have gotten my first client for my mastermind, and this offer exists since 5 days or so. And that I never was able to get this when I want to do this alone. I'm so grateful that I take the decision to join your group, because now I will arrive at my dreams years before when I have done it alone. I'm sure of this.
And that's the interesting thing, is because I have no doubt, Kevin, that because it was your dream and because of the person that you are, you would have figured this out on your own ultimately. You would have had this dream, you would have pursued it, and you would have eventually had it. And I think you used the words years earlier, and I do from my own experience, because unfortunately I didn't hire a paid coach to get me much further faster, and I've told the story before of how I wanted to create a mastermind group, or I wanted to create a stream of income where I was making an extra $10,000 a month. And I said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 10 mastermind groups where 100 people pay me $100 a month. Yeah. And I told this to my friend Dan Miller. He goes, Cliff, I think that's a terrible idea. And I'm like, what do you mean? I learned about mastermind groups from you. It's going to be 5 groups on the first and third weeks of the month. I'm going to do 5 groups on the second and 3 weeks of the month. It's just going to be an hour for each of those groups each week. And the thing is, some months actually have a 5th. I'll have an entire week off. And then the other ones, it's just 5 1-hour meetings. Dude, I'm going to be making $10,000 of recurring revenue with only 5 hours a week. He goes, yeah, I think that's a terrible idea. And I'm like, I don't get it. What do you mean? He goes, Cliff, what your ultimate goal is to create a new stream of income of $10,000 a month. And I said, yeah. He goes, why don't you just create one group where 10 people pay you $1,000 a month? And the answer to that question was obvious, because I don't believe with my current mindset that anyone would ever pay me $1,000 a month. And, you know, the thing is if Dan was my paid coach at the time and I was paying him to speak into my life, I probably would have allowed him to question some of my limiting beliefs. And there's no doubt in my mind that I would have been able to create what is now the next level mastermind, where let's just put it this way. We're currently at 20 people paying $1,000 a month. But the thing is I could have had this back in 2012 had I had a coach that would have helped me get over that hurdle that surely nobody would ever pay that. But, you know, he's like, okay, you know, and he was my mentor, and he goes, but just so you know, you think it's 5 hours a week, but that's 100 different people. If you successfully fill all of those groups, that's a lot of people that you're going to want. I know you, Cliff, you have a desire to serve people outside of those meetings. It's a lot of people with a lot of issues going on in their life. You're going to emotionally be involved. I think you're heading for burnout. And I'm like, but me, Cliff Ravenscraft, I was so excited about my decision. I'm like, but, you know, I'm willing to work hard. And if I put extra hours in, and if it's 30, even if it's 30, 40 hours a week that I devote into these people, and the thing is I actually ended up building 5 groups of 10 people. And those 5 groups met for 2 years. And just the 5 groups of 10 people was so emotionally exhausting that after 2 years, I had achieved the financial outcome of what I wanted for those 5 groups. But after 2 years, I was burned out. He was right. I should have listened to him. And had I paid a coach to actually coach me on why he was giving me the advice, then I could have saved years of my life. And not to mention the fact that because I had that experience, I ended that in, I think, 2014. Anyway, but I went from 2014 through, I went 3 years without ever doing a mastermind group again before I had the courage and confidence to pursue it. And here, you did it in 5 days.
Yes. And I have made the same experiences. Before I've decided to go fully self-employed, I was working since 5 years on my website, on my offers, and try to do everything alone. And I've made 300 or 400 euros a month for 3 or 4 years because I've tried to do everything on my own. And then there comes a time I've decided to take a coach. And this coach, I wanted to reach my fully self-employment this year in September, and I've reached it in March because I've decided to take the coach. But if I have decided earlier to take the coach, I will be in another dimension than now. And now it's the next step. Decided to join the mastermind, and 5 days my offer and the first client for the mastermind. It's rocket fuel. It's absolutely awesome.
Now, the funny thing, Kevin, I don't know if you saw, but yesterday I published episode 616 of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show, and it was titled, "Can I Afford Coaching at This Level?" or something of that nature. And it's not your story, it's my story. And I'm currently in a position where I am hoping that I get the opportunity to pay $100,000 to have Rich Litvin as my coach. And just like when I asked you, have you ever thought about paying for a paid mastermind group? I happen to have one. It's currently only $1,000 a month. It's getting ready to change. But have you thought about anything like this? And you're kind of like, well, I can't afford it. And I'm like, and so when I got the email from Rich that says, hey, there's this protege program. It's a 2-year commitment. It's $100,000. This is what you get as a result. And I'm like, man, I really want that. But I am in a position right now financially, I can't afford it. But I really want it. And I'm like, so let me do the math on this, $100,000. If it's over the course of 2 years, then that's $50,000 a year. If I do the math, I'm pretty sure I worked it up to where it was like $4,000 something a month. And hopefully he'll let me pay in monthly installments of $4,000 a month. And the thought of it's like, but wait a second. If the reason why I so desperately want to hire him as a coach is just by reading his book. I've already been able to accomplish this, and I know where I'm going next. And that's just 2 people in my new mastermind group. That's just 2 people, and that pays for my coaching. And I know I'm going to fill that to 12. And it's like, and this, of course I'm going to do this. Yes. And so it's the funny thing is what I talked about in last week's episode is exactly what I've shared here for you. Kevin, before we wrap things up, I would love for you to explain a little bit about the fact that in your hot seat, you had said you had lost all passion for creating your podcast. Were you shocked at the advice that I gave you?
Yeah. Yes.
I'd love to hear from your perspective. Describe to the audience, what did Cliff Ravenscraft, the formerly known as Podcast Answer Man, say to you when you said you lost all passion for your show?
Yeah, you said to me, I have to shut it down, or if new episodes would hurt me, if I not create new episodes would hurt me, then I should close down the podcast.
Yeah. So just for interpretation here, the way that I said is like, I think you should just shut it down. If you've lost passion for creating the content, then shut it down. It doesn't do anything for you. And I would encourage you to never create another podcast ever again unless the thought of not creating that episode is painful to you. That's exactly how I said it.
Yeah.
So what was your thought? What went through your head when I told you that?
Directly in the situation, I'm not sure what I thought about, but hours after the call, in my head, everything's spinning, and I thought, never a podcast episode. I love podcast episodes. I love listening to podcasts. I cannot shut down my podcast. And then a few days after this, I've created 4 new episodes with so much energy in it, and get reactions for mails from Facebook Messenger. And I have created 93 podcast episodes before where I get no mail, no message. Now the energy is there, and I love podcasting, and podcasting is now my number 1 content channel. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah.
That is awesome. I wanted people to hear that because I do say that often. And by the way, anybody who could be talked out of creating content should definitely put their podcast to death. Seriously, kill it off.
Yeah.
If I can convince you to stop creating content, you probably shouldn't have ever created the thing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But if I suggest, and I didn't beat around the bush, I'm like, listen, don't ever create an episode again. Seriously. Yeah. And unless the thought of not creating what's in your head right now, what's on your heart to share, if the thought of not recording your voice and sharing it with the world is painful for you, that's when you create podcast episodes. Forget about consistency. Forget about frequency. Forget about all that other stuff. Only create content when you're passionate.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, well, gosh, with that, I should probably just become passionate about something. And what's different is you actually completely changed how you show up to the microphone.
Yes. Definitely. I've two clients of mine have said to me, there's so much energy now in your voice. That was never before. And yeah, I get so much cool reactions for the new episodes. And yeah, I could hear it myself. The energy is absolutely amazing in these new episodes. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, before we end our little bit here together, believe it or not, I have many people in Germany, or at least people who speak German, who would be very interested in learning more about you and where they can find the work that you're doing online. So I'm going to ask you to do something I've never had done before in my podcast. And by the way, I trust you to not saying something ridiculous that I'll have no idea what you said, but I want you to speak only in German to the people who understand German about who you are and where they can find you online.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, ja, wer mehr zu mir und meiner Arbeit erfahren will, der geht auf kevinfiedler.de. Das kann man einfach durchschreiben, einfach den Namen zusammenschreiben, kevinfiedler.de. Da ist alles zu finden.
I have no idea what you just said, but bless you. That is awesome. Seriously, thank you so much, Kevin. It's such an honor to do life with you. I am thrilled to be your mentor, to have you as a part of the Next Level Mastermind, and I can't wait to see what's next in store for us, our relationship, and the way that you and I will positively and profoundly impact the world in a positive way.
I'm sure of that. Thank you, Cliff.
Mindset and